2005, all of you know that CPA was signed, was implemented, and the challenges of implementation is what I will talk about. You know that the presidency of the constitution of the, but before that, Garang deceived the North. وقش الشماليين عمل نفسه unionist. Who am I unionist? Because if he was a unionist, he would not say, let us go to Kosti, and those who do not want to go to Khartoum, let them go back. He was not a unionist because he says if during the independence referendum you choose to be a member of Sudan, unity means that you have chosen second-class citizen. So it was so sophisticated. This small thing we're telling Southern Sudanese that let us fight. Garang, of course, they ran the composition of government of central, northern, government of national unity, because we refused to call it government of Sudan. So that it was called government of national unity. And they deceived the North. He said, 2 systems, 1 country. Allah, one country. Well, two systems, man, we will buy them. Then have Jani, Jain, Nagaba, Yani, Ujani, and Estriu. So let us accept 1 country called Sudan, 2 systems, Islamic and secular. That we did not get into their mind. They didn't know that SARS will get away. So it is a credit to late Dongan. Now, when the presidency was formed, composed of President Umar al-Bashir, first Vice President John Garang, and Ali Osman. Now, when the first ABA protocol or ABA expert reports came, immediately they know that it is refused. That was the beginning of the dismantling of the CPA. It was called that the report will be final and binding. The laws refused. Now we would have gone to war. If you want this Khalat Balaj, CPA Zata. But we cooled down. People, we have lived with them for 50 years and we know them. Arab Galek Bilai or Gabit But then they have also philosophy. Tasbur Namani Agis or Soborana and you Tantasa. Bilasman Mabe Arabic. Because I refused to study Arabic for one simple thing. I was asked by the teacher why I didn't want to study Arabic. And I would claim why the Kasaro Baini, Rafao Baini, Ujuru Baini. I refused. So that when I pronounce something Arabic wrongly, don't even know. Now, unfortunately, we had a bad start by losing our charismatic leader, John Garang, visionary. If he had lived, we would be in a better position now. We wouldn't be worried about what I've been saying. So now there are few people who would have been like prophets who were using sacrificial. And I have chosen myself to be one of them, going around the world with no money. I just take my books. I was invited by a community in Australia. I didn't have money. Because they saw me talking on television and all these things, they know, yeah, this is the man we invite. So I went. I didn't have money, so I took 50 books. Carried them very heavy as an old man. But I want to be self-reliant. I took them to the embassy in Uganda. They bought 10 books. So I went and bought and upgraded my ticket to business class. I carried 40. The people of Australia bought them 100 because they were very sympathetic with me going to see them. So it were bought 100. I had 4,000. I was able now to upgrade my ticket, and I have a lot of things, and I came. And therefore, they said we are here because we are a part of the Southern Sudan, and especially the Dinkas. They said, please take this money to our boys who are fighting the Arabs. So they gave me money. I went and opened a case, and this is the same thing while I'm here on fundraising. And the reasons I will come later on talking about it. So these are the books where I want people, I have been telling them that anybody can take it, and if you don't pay, then the government of Southern Sudan, the God of Southern Sudan will follow you. Now, following the death of John Garang, my great Anthony, people did not know who will take over shoes, who step in the footsteps of John Garang. The SPLM, knowing the character of Comrade Salva Kiir, they appointed him to take over. Kiir Mayadi, people were worried because he had not been to university or secondary school, he just finished secondary, and then he went fight. People were worried. Will he have succeeded Garang? So that was the feeling at that time when SPLM came to Juba. I don't know why Khartoum is always coming in my life. Because we live too long in Khartoum. So after Kiir was appointed chairman of the SPLM, he started to go down to work. The first thing he did was to form the government of South Sudan by asking communities to select whom they want to be a minister or who wants to be a commissioner. This was done by the community. And it happened that SPLM have got bases where they met at Buma or Payam, and look at the person creating something new. Buma, Payam, counties. This is a man who will be a anything now, including flag, what, SPLM, oh yeah, all John Garang, everything. Did it one person, one single. We need John Garang among you here. Not you, then you're killed. Because John Garang was in America outside, he was in diaspora. I will talk about diaspora later on. What happened was that the government of South Sudan was formed. The second thing was formation of parliament, assembly. So he sent again letters to the communities to select people they wanted to come to represent. They were selected, and I became one of them by the Ngok Dinka. Now, our role was to write constitution. To write constitution of Southern Sudan. The first of its kind. So we sat down for September, October, November, until we managed until we managed to put together what became known the Constitution of South Sudan. The Constitution of South Sudan was put into law on the 5th of December. So we had, the Southern Sudan had a constitution since God created them. Now, what happened to Southern Sudan to become one country? How did it start? This is another lecture. This is a lot of lecture, which is not a part of this. There were only 3 people who said it was one person. One person called Paul Logali, the father of Henry Paul. who was the first to be told by the English Amul committee called political committee. Janubin up to that time Bandung parties. So he said now the three provinces must be treated as one. Who are Karija Elementary, primary school, who was assisted by number 2, Abdurrahman Sule, number 3, Gordon Apayayom, intermediate teacher. Then Buzdio. Buzdio Madakal Madas of Hayatu. And he has become most loved southern politician. Buzdio can do cousin without which Madrasa, Wierbia, Nabutu, he was reading. Then he began to learn, good morning, how are you? What is this water? This. So he learned this thing. One day, the district commissioner, a veterinary doctor came trying to inject cows. You know, these arches, they like to put their mind. Yeah, he came. He said, can I help you? What? We speak English. He said, well, I'm talking to you now in English. Have you been to school? No. Why did you not learn English? I just got it from my cousin who come from the school. So I said, took him to Malacca. When I taught him proper English, I made him a cook. When Sudan was preparing for the English to go, Buzadio was appointed Dabidi Dari, British. And so later on, when they wanted people to go to parliament, he was a member of parliament and became so active, the most respected politician by the whole North. So that when Mohammed Ahmed Majub, the leader of opposition, so both you talking, he derogatory insulted Buzdiev girl from kitchen stairway to parliament. From the kitchen. That was Buzdiev. These were people who thought of bringing up Southern Sudan together. You will read it in the book, the details. I did that because I know our youth needs to know what happened, the history which we have been making, and why we with our tribes form a country. What is the difference? The difference is what I said before. This small thing, Dinka mind do, Shukran mind, you know. Otherwise we are one people. So my daughter was taken by Noel. I kept quiet. She came back with 3. He went and found that the system of Nuerdi was not like us. So he came back. I said, please, I don't like that. I said, stupid. This is your husband. You choose her. The Nuer and the Dinka are one people. So you go back. I'm telling you this because I want Southern Sudan to be one people. I met him 2007 as a member of parliament. I have never met him again because he brought people, you know, some people who went from exile. Oh, our friend is in Ontario, call him. Alfi Calgary, Mala Hakuma. They went and around the side of town. When you go and then they back like dogs. Therefore, Comrade Kiir being somebody who want to carry everybody. And he managed to carry us all to this point. I don't know any one of us would have done that. And what he did finally was to bring all the parliament of South Sudan. We were 170 elected. And when we became independence, 96, can't forget were added. Then he brought 66. All the tribes except very few like G, like Kashepo, Porenge, were shot. Otherwise, all the tribes are now in the parliament of Southern Sudan. So he started carrying everybody, and you have heard people like Matim fighting SPLM for 21 years killing. But then all the weapons given to him during the 21 years came and handed over to the SPLM. And whether and where are very funny people. They can go there and then come here. But they don't forget who they are.
Yeah.
That's why now most of the people were now given money. And the Arabs have discovered that when it was said that we are one people country, where they say Kadab. You see, I was one day traveling with Peter Gadet. Yeah, Peter. Ita katalta karabino le Gale who told you what katalta karabino. He said while he was anywhere now, the one there you took, you kill him. He said if I wanted to kill Carabino, I would have killed Matip. But this was the plan. And I told Carabino to go with all his harass to Balagazar. He was killed on the way there by somebody called Taib Golwak, who talked to Khartoum, and he was ambushed. But do you know what I was doing? We agreed with Matip. Galea Amon Nafsa Kedwal Mutamarit, Ushid Hajada Kupina Warjatani. And then more were brought. The other time, Peter Gadel Masha. And handed over this and came back. The Arab welcomed him again. And so and so. So they begin to say, Allah. Now that you know, yeah. You see? So anyway, let us go that, and on the 5th of December we had a parliament. The parliament now sat down to have the first budget